we enter the final stages, there are 5 Rikushi who could win the basho. 3 of them have won basho before, and that's probably where the winner will come from. Yokozuna Musashi Maru leads along with Kaiho, but he looks somewhat subdued and not quite his usual self. Kaiho, as we know, has a Jekyll and Hyde character. Either is very strong or embarrassingly weak. Of late, it's the strong Kaiho which has been the dominant character. Behind these two is Chiyo Taikai. He won a basho some time ago. He's looking stronger and fiercer than ever, but without the weight and authority of a Yokozuna. He's only good at pushing sumo, not much good on the belt. Finally up with this pack is powerhouse Wakano Sato and newcomer Tamanoshima. Well, let's see how they shape up in these final 3 days. First of our bouts here, it's Jumonji, who fights under his own family name against Oginishiki on the right there, man who's had so many injuries. He's lost count of them in his long sumo career. This is 46th basho. There, Oginishiki losing. That's his 5th loss. And that was the 4th win for Jumonji. Relative newcomer, it's only his 5th basho. That's Makuuchi basho. So our next bout between Tochinohana and Kotoryu. These two have never fought before. Tochinohana came into Makuuchi Sumo in the year 2000 last year. Kotoryu in 96, so he's been around a bit longer. But Kotoryu, the veteran there, loses. He's had a bad arm for most of this basho. So 7th win there for Tochinohana. He's getting closer and closer to Kachikoshi. And that was the 6th loss for Kotoryu. Tamakasuga from the Katonami stable, fighting Chiyotenzan. Chiyotenzan won a prize in each of his first 3 Makuuchi bashos, which was some time ago, starting in 98. Since then hasn't done quite so well. Well, that's Tamakasuga there, giving him a bit of stick. Finally pushes him out with oshidashi. 6th win for Tamakasuga, and 9th loss for Chiyotenzan. Akinoshima hasn't been doing too well this basho. His stable had some problems recently. They had to weren't able to train as much as they wanted before the basho due to faulty training surface, dohyo, that was installed there. He's fighting Kaiho. These two have fought twice before. Akinoshima's won 2 of them. Kaiho quicker off the mark there. Quick swing round behind, well in control. Very neat little duck under move there by Kaiho. And got the underarm grip, swung round behind Akinoshima and then pushed him out from the side, slightly from the rear and down. So shitati dashinagi throw there by Kaiho. That was his 8th win, and Kachikoshi, which is much better than his previous basho when he only had 6 wins. Daizen against Otsukasa. Otsukasa, 1 meter 76 centimeters tall, not very tall at all. Shortest, one of the shortest Rikushi in this top division. 151 kilos though of him, nevertheless. And Daizen 155. So weight-wise, these two much about the same. Well, it's certainly an open bout here, pushing and shoving at each other without too much conclusion. Finally in on the belt. There's the overarm grip from Daizen. Tries a little bit of assistance from that swing around and the overarm grip on the back of the neck, but Otsukasa stopped that one. Otsukasa then tries the same thing with a little bit of assistance from the legs, and finally Daizen finishes it off with tsukiotoshi. So that was a nice mix of techniques there. Daizen takes the victory. His father was in sumo, but only got as far as the Sandame division, which is roughly halfway up. Starts with Jonokuchi, then Jonidan, then Sandame. So that's the 3rd division from the bottom. So now we have Tamanoshima against Toki. These two have never fought before, so it's interesting. Tamanoshima in his 4th basho. Toki rather rough. Attacks the face and the throat, as you can see there. Tamanoshima hanging on in, putting up with all that stuff, and finally drives Toki out backwards. Well, Tamanoshima not too fussed about the slaps to the face, and that gave Tamanoshima his 10th win. Extraordinary good performance by Tamanoshima in his 4th basho. Previous basho only got 5 wins, although the one before that he had 11 wins, so he's not been doing too bad, really. Toki, that's his 8th loss, and Makikoshi. Now everybody tenses up, waits for the scattering of the salt. Falls like the cherry petals in spring. That's what some of the Japanese commentators say. So Kitazakura, now the salt thrower, fights Higonoumi, whose left arm is bad. He's not been having a good basho at all. There's a lot of grip changing going on there. Certain amount of work under the armpits of Higonoumi on his injured side. Finally Kitazakura gets in on the belt. Kitazakura's got 3 wins, not very good. But there's a 4th win. And that was 10th loss for Higonoumi. So Kitazakura on the large side, 173 kilos of him. But previous bashos he fought in the Juryo division, from which he's graduated now. Kyokushuzan, who usually does well in Nagoya, nearly always gets kachikoshi here. But so far has only got 6 wins. Here fighting Takanonami. These two have fought 15 times. Takanonami on the right, there's 1-9 of that lot. But he's got a bit of a fever, this basho, apparently, from pneumonia. So there now, Kyokushuzan settling in. An interesting position there. Heading quite low on Takanonami's chest. Takanonami usually quite happy to come over the top, but it's that head there in the way. Quite a distinct technique for nullifying the greater height of the opposing wrestler. So Kyokushuzan now swings round, tries a leg grab. Oh, very close there, extremely close. Well, it looked to me like Kyokushuzan hit the deck first. Let's just watch that. Any part other than the soles of the feet have got a touch. What is it? Oh. Close call, that one. Takanonami gets it with abisetaoshi. That's the name of the winning technique. So 4th win for Takanonami. Now Hayateumi has had a dreadful basho. 10 wins so far. Here fighting Tochinonada, has also had a pretty bad run. He's had 8 losses. Wow, look at that throw at the end there. Tochinonada really spun him over. That was more like judo there. So Hayateumi notches up his 11th loss. And that was the 5th win for Tochinonada. Well, that was quite a spectacular throw at the end of that mix-up. Sukuinage by the look of it. It's the Mongolian Asashoryu. His father teaches Mongolian sumo, apparently. And Kotonowaka, who once had Kotomitsuki as his skibito, or assistant. Oh, Kotonowaka read that one easily enough. Certainly Kotonowaka used his greater height there. He anticipated Asashoryu to come out like a rocket. Instead of himself coming forward, he just straightened up a bit and patted the back of Kotonowaka's, correction there, Asashoryu's head. So then he went with hatakikomi. 6th win for Kotonowaka, 7th loss for Asashoryu. Now his Kotomitsuki, the man who was once Kotonowaka's assistant. And there's a hard head-banging start there. Tosanoumi against Kotomitsuki. See them locked in tight. A lot of power going into this one. Both these fighters around the 150 kilo mark. Tosanoumi with 6 wins. Unfortunately, a loss there for Tosanoumi. That was his 7th loss. So there was a sudden tap on the inside of the leg. It's amazing how finely balanced these wrestlers are. They were both locked in tight, straining like mad. Kotomitsuki just reached down with his hand and tapped the inside of Tosanoumi's thigh, and that was enough to just tip him down to the ground. So uchimuso win there by Kotomitsuki. Yabiyama here against Takanowaka. Takanowaka's been doing well this basho. He's got 8 wins so far. Does a lot of weight training apparently, which he's been doing for some time, but maybe it's just beginning to start off paying, you can say. Doesn't look particularly weight trained. Japanese don't actually believe in a lot of heavyweights. Well, that one was close. Looks to me like Miyabiyama went out just marginally before, but there's an objection. So one of the Shimpan there is objecting to the referee's call. It certainly looked like. So they've supported the referee's call. The referee called it to Takanonaka at the end of that bout, and although an objection was made, the chief umpire there, formerly known as the Wolf, Chiyonofuji, who supports the referee. So that was 9th win for Takanonaka, 7th loss for Miyabiyama. Wakanosato, powerhouse against Musoyama. These two have fought each other 7 times. Musoyama's won 4 of them, but it's fairly close. Wakanosato with 9 wins this basho, Musoyama with 8 wins. So it's Musoyama that drives forward. Superior charging power there from Musoyama drives Wakanosato backwards and down. So yorikiri win there for Musoyama and his 9th win. 4th loss for Wakanosato. That effectively drops Wakanosato out of any chance of taking the win, the overall win of this tournament. Now we have Chiyo Taikai and Kaiho. These two have fought 17 times. Chiyo Taikai has won most of them with 10 wins. But these statistics go back some time, and it's in the last year or so Kaiho's been stronger. Chiyo Taikai, we've noticed, is weak to hatakikomi, which is to say he just charges out and goes for the headbutt and the push. And if he's going to go down, he's often slapped down, so there he's coming out hard and fast, pushing into Kaiho. Kaiho going back, being driven back by Chiyo Taikai. And then during that sort of retreat from the battle by Kaiho, he was looking for Chiyo Taikai's arm, and then having found it, he then just put pressure on it, and that dropped Chiyo Taikai down. So 12th win now for Kaiho. So he got 1 loss, and 3rd loss for Chiyo Taikai. So that's effectively dropped Chiyo Taikai out the race now. Let's watch this one again. So Chiyo Taikai starts off driving in. Kaiho, if you look at his face, not too fussed with all these pushes to the chin and face. Just hanging on, retreating around the circle, being careful not to step out. Then he goes for the arm. There, he's got the arm. You can see that. Just whacks in hard on the back of the elbow. And down goes Chiyo Taikai. Now Sashimaru, including bout of day 13. He's got 1 loss. Fighting here, Tochiazuma. Tochiazuma, who's doing quite well this basho. He says that since he doesn't know Nagoya very much, he hasn't been out at night drinking, celebrating, been staying in the stable, so he attributes that to his present form. So these two have fought 19 times. Musashi Maru's won 14 of them. Musashi Maru needs all the victories he can get from now on, and that's it. He's out. He's pushed out. Slightly asleep there, and Tochiazuma just managed to shove him out with oshidashi. So now that means that Musashi Maru has dropped behind Kaiho, and he's with 2 losses as opposed to Kaiho's 1 loss. And Tochiazuma there taking a bundle of money that has been placed on the outcome of the bout. Crowd there delighted with Tochiazuma's performance. Comes out, comes in rather low. You see Musashi Maru there tries to pull his head down and keeps on pushing hard. Chases Tochiazuma, then Tochiazuma comes back into it, pushes with his head, keeps going, keeps it all of a mess and a flurry, and eventually Musashi Maru goes out. So it's Kaiho now in the lead with 12 wins and 1 loss, and behind him with 2 losses and 11 wins, Musashi Maru.